Okay, so I am making this video in landscape, although I do like portrait, but I realise that on YouTube everybody or most people like it on landscape. Loads of people have been trying to get me on YouTube for a long time, so okay, I'm going to share some of myself here. I don't like people watching me when I'm working. It's just not the way I work. I just can't do it. I feel self-conscious. I feel a bit naked actually because I do things so back to front. Now I'm thinking, gosh, will people laugh at me? But I just can't do things the way maybe I'm expected to do it. I'm not going to make excuses for that. Anything I put up here is about me personally. Everybody does things differently, and there's amazing artists out there and people who are perfectionists, and I just think, wow, that's amazing. But I've tried to be like that. I can only do things if I do things in my usual haphazard manner. And I've been asked about my process. Well, my process is to not think about it. I can't think about it. My mind won't let me think about it. I can't tape off things. I can't prep. I don't want to prep. I like this little rough body the way it is. It's lightweight, it's rough around the edges. It will soak up the paint. It doesn't matter what you use. If you use anything, it will soak it up. You could prime it. You could put a few layers of primer on it. And I've used primer before and then my paint didn't stick because I was told to use primer and I didn't want to do it. I did it against my will as such, but there you go, I did it to please somebody, but no, it didn't work and I had to sand back the guitar. So I think best for me to just do what instinctively comes to me. So I don't prime, and if you primed you could probably get a better coat, and it would be far easier to put any pen on it or any paint because it wouldn't sink in so much. But I've decided, although this makes me anxious, or it did at first because a lot of work, I've just decided to put my head down and go for it because I actually enjoy it. Now, it could take me 12 hours just to do this, and I'm going to use this Posca pen, although I'll do a wee video on acrylic pens, and trust me, Posca aren't the best. In fact, none of them are brilliant because for me, they've all got their little flaws. If I was designing something, I would design it a bit better, but I don't know anything about chemicals as such or how things work, so I'm sure there's maybe issues with certain colours. But some of these pens, you know, they're so frustrating, and to get any good depth of colour you have to go over acrylic so many times. Even I've bought the thickest, dearest acrylic paint and it still doesn't cover good. So it's all about what you would put underneath. If you were painting the house, painting a metal gate or something, you would put a grey primer, I think, and then you would put black on top of it. Grey wouldn't be good for white, but there's certain colours you would use as undercoats. Yeah, obviously a white undercoat, white paint, but there are certain undercoats that go better with certain colours. But that's just best to actually trial and error and figure that out. I mean, I know a lot of these answers because I've been doing it for about 40 years. I've been messing with paints. I know what happens. I know the pitfalls. I don't like to read instructions, so I think it's just best to just do it. And anyway, I've never really watched videos on YouTube, but I don't have a good attention span, so I can't really watch long videos. But I know there's some people that will want to watch a long video, so I'm making this. So people say, how do I start? This is how I start, right? And this is the truth. This is what I do. Because I don't know what I'm doing. It's just freestyle. I just look at it, and then when I look at it, all of a sudden a pattern comes and I can do it. So I will just take a pen, any pen, a black one or any coloured one. There's issues with just using black. Once you put these pens down, it's not easy to get rid of them. You can't just wipe them away, especially on a dried body. You can on something that's plastic, but not on a dried body. It will sink in, it will stay. So it's like a stain, but it's not a stain as such. So this is what I do. And obviously these pens I would say they last long, but they run out quickly and you've got to keep pumping them up to get any depth of colour. So this one, I've probably picked one that's kind of running out. But basically, this is what I would do. I can't just jump over and get another pen. This one's not working. Wait a minute, wait a minute. Right, okay, I've got some ink. So this is what I would do. Okay, people say, how do you start? This is how I start. I just do this because that's how my brain works. Whereas if you're a trained, what do you call them, illustrators, you should be able to just go in and draw anything, but I can't do that. I can't just go in and draw anything. I've got to think about it, and thinking about it's hard. So I would have to have a picture, and I would have to look at that picture like a portrait. I spent 10 years doing portraits, and I just taught myself. I was surprised I could actually do them, but it's what your eye sees. I spent 14 hours looking at an eyebrow or a face. I think it was Noel Gallagher I was doing, and I realised after 14 hours his eyebrow was just in the wrong position, and you soon learn that it's wee things like that that can make a difference in a portrait. I prefer abstract because you can just let your mind can just wander, but at the same time with abstract you've got to get the colours right. There's things you've got to get the positioning right, or else it doesn't look right. But that's what I think, but it might be different in each artist's eye because we all see different things. So this was how I would go about it. When I was on the plane at 36,000 feet, I just took different colours and I drew lines, and I'll just do these wee lines until eventually my mind fires up. It's like I have to kick-start it, and once it's like I have to get into that mode, and once I get into the mode, maybe after a few minutes, or I could go and do something maybe for half an hour and then go, oh no, that's wrong, I don't like it. But there's always a way to go back and fix it. You can't wash it out, but just use the mistakes you've made. And or what I do is I use the mistakes I've made to turn it into something else. And trust me, I am always amazed at how something starts for me and how it turns out, because I can always bring it back. And the ones I can't bring back, I'll just put them in the shed and leave them for a few months until I feel calm about it, because I do have anxieties about that. But I've got anxieties about maybe getting something right. If I don't get it right in my eye, to my eye, I'm like, oh no, I can't look at that, I've just got to throw it in the bin. Like portraits, I used to just throw them in the bin because if I spend too long on them, it stresses me out. And abstract's different. You could spend so long on it, but you can always bring it back. Well, I can anyway. Problem is with these pens, you have to go over them. So you could spend 10 hours filling this whole body with little bits, with letting your mind go, and then you have to go over it twice, 3 times, maybe 4 times. You have to get a depth of colour. And also, these pens aren't good at covering. Some are better at covering than others. Some brands are better. I don't really look at brands. I know I've got Poscas, that's it. Just because there's things about Posca I like and there's things about it I don't like. But anyway, okay, that'll do for now because that's 8 minutes I've talked for. And some might say I'm talking a load of pish, but you want to know how I do it. You want to know what my thought process is. I've tried to explain it in written words, but I'll speak it here on YouTube, and hopefully as I go forward I'll get a bit more confident. And remember, it's everything's in the moment for me. I might not want to say anything, I might not want to do anything, but one day I'll get a wee spark and I'll want to do it. So you just have to wait on that happening. That's the way it works for me. I know it's frustrating for some people, but I mean, I could do a progress shot on how this goes because I could start working on it next. But I've got so many projects to do and to finish. Anyway, this'll do for now, and hopefully it's of some help. Okay, albeit long-winded, but you asked for it. Bye.